Hi, welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. This is a double-edged video really, in that I'm responding to someone's question, should I buy a D610 with a 24-120 or the Nikon 28-300? Now, unfortunately that question poses more questions than answers, to be fair, because my guess is that you want a single lens setup. Now, I would question why you would want a full frame single lens setup, because you're going, in one hand, you're going for the ultimate quality of full frame, but then you're compromising yourself with the downsides of having a lens that's trying to do everything and it can't do that, as well as shorter zooms or primes. Now, a quick bit about each of those lenses. The 24-120 is a really nice lens. I know a wedding photographer who uses the D700 Nikon, the 24-120 and the 70-300, and that's all he uses, those two lenses on that Nikon D700, and gets wonderful results. Now, a lot of that is down to his creativity, but he does. Now, the other option, the 28-300, I have used that lens and it is a beast of a lens. It's actually wasn't very nice, and at the long end you're going to get distortion issues and pin cushioning and things like that with any sort of ultra zoom lens like that. And that brings me down to this, what I've got here. Now, as you may know from my videos, I've gone micro four thirds, and there's lots of reasons why, but one of the big reasons is size. But one of the interesting things about the lenses is that all of these lenses on micro four thirds have all these pins, and now you think, now that's for autofocus and image stabilization and a light meter reading, things like that. But what also happens is that the lens carries information about itself and tells the camera what it is, and so it all, before you even in the raw files, that, I mean, they're technically not fully raw files because the distortion is all taken care of in the processing in the camera, because this lens is going to say, right, I'm currently shooting at 14mm, so there's going to be a bit of distortion, so it needs to be straightened up, and then the camera does the straightening up, which is fantastic, and it's borne out in all the shots I've taken so far. I don't have issues like that. And Nikon and you know, the full frame cameras like that, they don't have those facilities built in. You have to do it afterwards in Lightroom, which is fine if, you know, that's your bag. But again, if this is someone looking for a single lens setup, it begs the question as to why. Now, if it's for a travel option and you're going for ultimate quality traveling, then I can see the benefits. But if you can get a smaller lens and a smaller body, but get, you know, maybe 90-95% of the quality, then surely that's something to at least look at, and that's what I would suggest. I wouldn't suggest buying a Nikon D610 or D750 or D800 and sticking a super zoom 28-300 on there. I mean, yes, a great range. It's not, in my opinion, not particularly wide enough. I think you'd need a 24mm there somewhere. It's not a fast lens, it's a, you know, going to be a 3.5 to 5.6 or whatever, so there's no benefit there. You're going to have the distortion problems. It's a heavy thing, it trombones like you wouldn't believe, as does this, but you know, it's all relative. You know, this weighs a fraction of what that will weigh. I think a better option would be the 24-120 and a 70-300, and cover yourself perhaps with a, you know, maybe a 50-1.8, something like that, if, you know. But so I'm going to now move on to this, which is the Panasonic Lumix 14-140. It's a Mega OIS Vario, aspherical, yada yada yada. It's an f4 to 5.8, and the equivalent is a 28-280mm. So similar to that, you know, 28-300mm lens. And again, for me, it's not particularly wide enough, but for a one-stop shop on a micro four thirds, I think it is a really good option. And I don't necessarily think it's a one lens option, for me, I would have that for when I'm perhaps going away somewhere and I literally want one camera, one lens and nothing else. That's the one I'm going to take with me. It's sharp, it's contrasty, which are the two things I tend to look for in an image when I'm using lenses like this. Nice punchy colours. There is an element of the tail wagging the dog when you put it on something like this. Is the OMD M5. Just pop it on there, and it's a fairly heavy lens, fairly hefty sort of thing, and you know, especially when you start tromboning it out like that, you know, you are a fairly chunky, heavy system. But when it's on here, it's nice to hold because it's nice and chunky, so you're holding the lens more than the actual camera body. You're really controlling with your right hand and holding the lens with your left, the way I do it. And you know, even on a little body like this, it's fine. I mean, on the GH4, it's no problem at all. And the even better thing about this is that it's now been replaced by a smaller, lighter, slightly faster, slightly better quality, slightly sharper version. And which I am in the process of sourcing one. I haven't got it yet, but I am going to get that and replace this with the newer, lighter version, because ultimately this is going to be on my other half's camera and it will just be her one-stop shop, so she doesn't have to change lenses and that. So from that respect, I think, going back to the original question, which would you rather have? A big full-frame camera with a massive lens as your one-stop shop, or something like that? Or even, you know, you get the newer version, which is smaller, lighter. It's about the same, oh, you know, it's on the camera, it's about the same size as the lens I've got on the camera, which you can't see obviously. But I mean, let's face it, this isn't a big heavy lens. It's chunky, it feels well built and weighty, but it's not, you know, it's not something you couldn't carry around all day long. It's absolutely fine. I mean, compared to the 45-1.8, yes, it's a heavy, chunky lens, but at the end of the day, it's a 14-140. It's, you know, amazing what it can do. So I'm a big fan of it. As I say, I'm going to actually sell this one and get the newer, smaller, lighter version, and again, I will do a review on that. And once I've I'm really struggling to get out and shoot at the moment and actually take photos, which is really frustrating. But once I've got some photos, I'll add some online. I'll put some on my Flickr. Just search GRVOTV on Flickr. You'll see some pictures on there. And as soon as I get the new version, I'll obviously do a quick review on that. So anyway, I hope my advice has been of use to the person that asked about the D610 and that, and perhaps if they want to come back to me with some more reasons as to why, it'd be quite an interesting discussion. So this has been GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.